And joining me now to talk about this is Brian Becker. He's the national coordinator of the Answer Coalition. Mr. Becker, I want to talk about the issue of immigration, the issue of crime at the border, and the spin that sometimes goes along with these two issues, especially I'm wondering who you think stands to gain from this spin.
Well, what we see right now is there's a great hype, a demonization, a criminalization, an attempt to marginalize millions of immigrant workers, Mexicans predominantly, in Arizona with the law SB 1070. It's now illegal, a crime, to be present in the streets of Arizona without documents. In other words, simply not having your documents with you can have you sent to jail, separated from your children, deported, which is happening to people all over Arizona. And of course, the politicians who are hyping this need an excuse. They need a pretext, a justification. And they're trying to say it's because there's a rising tide of mayhem, of crime, of murder, of terror, in other words, at the border. And it turns out, in fact, that that's not true, that what we're really witnessing is just widespread scapegoating and demonization by the right wing in the United States.
We have seen certain crimes occur, however, and I'm thinking of the rancher that was killed in Nogales, and certainly there's no evidence that that was even happened by an illegal immigrant, but people are pointing to things like that and saying this is a reason for cracking down on the borders, making them more secure, cracking down on illegal immigration. I mean, can't you see that perspective a little bit?
In fact, it's a propaganda blitz that's going on. Every time there's any crime, you can easily attribute it to the scapegoat. We've seen this tactic used in other countries. This was the favorite tactic of the Nazis in Germany in the 1930s. Blame the Jews or blame East European immigrants, especially when there's economic hard times. The bankers who have been bailed out, the same politicians who have given billions, hundreds of billions to the banks and bankers to bail them out, instead of demonizing the banks who have sent the country's economy into the ruins, they say, well, it's really these poor people, these undocumented workers who have been driven from their homes in Mexico by NAFTA, by the so-called Free Trade Act, by the same corporate sort of plunder of their country that's deprived them of jobs and farms. Now people are migrating, desperate for work, and in turn being criminalized and marginalized and scapegoated, and that's what these laws are all about.
I want to name some names here, not only names of politicians, maybe of organizations that you know of. I know specifically anyone in Arizona right now that turns on the television, there are ads running just about every 10 to 15 minutes. Senator McCain, who's facing a tough re-election, with him at the border, him saying we need to crack down, you know, walking around the border.
Drug and human smuggling, home invasions, murder.
We're outmanned. Of all the illegals in America, more than half come through Arizona.
Have we got the right plan?
Plan's perfect.
Name some names on politicians who do stand to benefit from the perspective that illegal immigrants are causing this danger.
Well, of course, Senator McCain is the most noteworthy one. He's running to the right now. A couple of years ago in 2006, when there was an upsurge of immigrant workers who went on strike in massive numbers, millions of people demanding a road to legalization, a road to legality, Senator McCain, along with Senator Kennedy, sponsored the McCain-Kennedy bill that would have allowed for a path to legalization, still with many prohibitions and enforcement, I think, too draconian. But now McCain is running for his political life, and he's running to the right. And so, easy enough, let's blame Mexicans, let's blame the immigrants, let's say that they're the cause of all the problems in Arizona. Of course, there's massive unemployment. Did the immigrants lay off these workers? No, they were laid off by corporations. There's foreclosures. Did the immigrants foreclose people's homes? No, those were the banks. But Senator McCain, who knows this and knows it very well, is playing the game of demonization.
All right, we're going to have to stop you there. Brian Becker, we do appreciate you for coming on and sharing your perspective.